So let's run through that boot field. If our configuration register has a boot field value of 2, what happens? Well, our router is booting up. It realizes it's a value of 2 through F. It doesn't matter. 2 through F is going to accomplish the same goal. Well, then we're going to follow this path. And what does this path say? This path says, check for boot commands and load Cisco IOS image. So we're looking for boot commands. Now, what if there's no boot command, though? Does the process completely halt? No, of course not. At that point in time, if there's no boot command, then we're simply going to parse flash and see if there's an iOS image. The very first iOS image we find from top down is then going to be loaded. So yes, there is. Go ahead and load it. Not a problem there whatsoever. All right. So what if instead of our configuration register value in the boot field having a 2 through an F, what if it had a value of 1 at the very end of it? Well, in that case, parse flash from top to bottom. Look for an iOS image. The first one you find, go ahead and load it. And what if we have a value of 0 as the boot field of the configuration register? Well, in that case, it says go into ROM-MON mode. Go into ROM-MON mode. That mini operating system that's found in read-only memory. So let's say we had a value of 1 or 2 through F. And now we're over here. If we find the operating system image, if we find it, load it. It's as simple as that. What if we don't find the operating system image? Ooh, okay. If we don't find the operating system image, we're moving down here now. So if we don't find the operating system image, then our device can broadcast out in the local area network if it has any interfaces enabled. It can broadcast out and try to find an iOS image by broadcasting out, and hopefully a TFTP server can respond. Typically, we're not going to have that set up, but if it does find a TFTP server, then it's going to load that iOS image from the TFTP server. But what if it doesn't? If it doesn't, then the device is designed to go into ROM-MON mode, disaster recovery. You don't have an iOS image, so it's time for you to get a new iOS image or figure out why that iOS image is not loading from Flash. Maybe Flash is corrupted. Who knows? But in the end, you end up in ROM-MON mode. So there's 2 ways to end up in ROM-MON mode. I want you to realize that. You can end up in ROM-MON mode because you could not find an iOS image at all to load, or you are forced there by having a boot field of 0.